Hello, how are we? Hope you're all well. I hope all is good. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. As the title suggests, this is a voiceover of Lower Rotation 2. Reason I'm going for the voiceover is because last upload I was not happy with the audio at all. I thought it was a bit dog. Sounded rough, mate. So we're going with the voiceover. Let's get straight into it before I absolutely bottle it, because talking to a camera scares me to the core. First exercise of this session, Adductor, taking 2 working sets here. Now this isn't my working load. I think I'd cry if this was my working load, because I am a proper rude boy. We're going full stack. That's nothing really to brag about. When it comes down to these adductor machines, majority of them are extremely light, and this is extremely light. Due to how light the stacks are, you'll find yourself working in a much higher rep range. So first working set 10 to 15, followed by 15 to 20. Now all I'm thinking about here is dragging my knees together, and I'm making sure that the pads don't bump into each other. Reason being, if they do bump into each other, in my opinion, it disrupts the rhythm of the set itself, but also it does take away tension from the target muscle, and that is not what we want. Start of the set, you can see I'm hugging myself, feel pretty wham here, but then I realise I'm extremely light. I'm a skinny little boy, and I'm getting lifted out the seat. So as this concentric tempo starts to slow down, I then hold the handles, pull myself in as I drive through these concentrics. You can see the left foot here starts to shake. It's like I'm trying to start up a motorbike. I'm thinking, yeah, this is your last one, mate. I was happy with this. Both sets progressed with regards to reps. So I used the same resistance. First set, upper rep. Second set, up 2 reps, which is what we like to see. Second exercise of the session, lying leg curl on the prime bit of kit here, loading the top pin, predominantly loading that length and range. So at the start of the rep, it's at its heaviest. As I drive through, it starts to become lighter. As you can see, visible confusion there from myself. I saw previous logbook numbers, I was thinking, did I really do that? This is post-Christmas, so warm-ups were feeling pretty heavy, mate. When it comes down to cues here, think about driving my hips and quads hard into the pad and just dragging my heels up. Now when I'm warming up in a way that does not accumulate any fatigue. I'm just trying to get ready for my working sets, just get everything firing, ready to perform. I reset this movement recently just because accuracy did start to slip. Just started to chase load a bit too much, had 3 plates and a 5 on top and 15 mid. I was thinking, mate, I'm strong here, but my hamstrings are tiny. If the muscle you carry does not reflect your strength, ask yourself some questions, look at your sets. If accuracy is not great, it's probably your answer, mate. So strip things back, make sure everything's tidy. Moving on to the pendulum here, a brutal movement. Do like it though. The hat had to come off because I had to wear it forwards, mate, and I looked like an absolute weapon with it forwards. I looked like a melon with it backwards, but did not look good forwards, so I had to get the curtains out. Now when it comes down to a pendulum, the reason it's brutal is because you're exposed to a lot of force at the bottom of each rep. It can be very harsh on the knee, so you will see people banding the front and back to mitigate that. However, that's long, mate. Takes a long time. My big brain can't figure it out, so I just go with a bit of tempo manipulation. I spend a bit more time at the bottom in full knee flexion before I do change direction and drive through that concentric. Super simple cues here. I'm thinking about driving back into the back pad, and I'm thinking about driving through my heel, midfoot and big toe. Sounds weird that, but they should be your main contact points. Moving forward into a leg extension. Now this is the input pad. If you have adjustability on the one you use, put that input pad as close to the knee as possible. Loading the top pin here again to be predominantly loading that length and range, as I want the resistance to decrease, big man, as I come into that shortened, as I come into knee extension. Now from this angle, it looks like I'm stopping a bit short of knee extension. However, my bunda is not on that pad. It's slightly lifted up. I should have filmed it from side on. But I normally have a seatbelt here locking me down, but I didn't have it. So I was just holding onto the handles as hard as I could, but my hips were still rising up. So this is me in knee extension. I'm just positioned a bit funny on this bit of kit. Again, driving through, seeing these concentrics slow down involuntarily. So see how slow it moves on the way up. But I'm trying to fly it. I'm trying to drive it through as hard as I can. The reason it slowed down is thanks to a slow contraction of velocity. Moving forward into the last exercise of the session, seated calf raise, taking 5 working sets. So 5's a lot, innit? But I need calves, mate. I need some wham ones because at the minute they are tiddly. I just got kneecap to ankle. There's nothing in between. It's rough. So 5 working sets. With regards to cues, this is going to make me sound like an absolute potato, but I think about driving my heels onto the top of my toes, and the reason that sounds so silly is because it's impossible to do. Like, you don't have that range of motion available at that joint. But I think about it, and internal focus is great. So I recommend doing the same. That session was good. Nearly everything progressed. The only thing that didn't was 3 working sets of the seated calf raise. Everything else moved extremely well, and that is what we want, of course. When it comes down to these rotations, I'm just looking to take progression as frequently as possible. So I'm looking at previous logbook numbers, thinking, right, I'm going to beat that this session. Hope that gave you a bit of an insight into how I approach my lower body training. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Oh, I didn't do it right, did I? It's not that at all. It's, what do I say? Like, subscribe, comment if you're feeling dangerous. There we go. And I will see you bunch of rude boys in the next one.